So this is it. This is the maiden voyage. I'm going to do a trial run today. Practice launching the boat, using the outboard, fishing from a small boat, all those sorts of things that I haven't really done before. And it's not as calm as I'd have liked it, but it's going to be between 15 and 20 mile an hour winds. And where I'm fishing is going to be fairly sheltered anyway, so I don't think the water will be too affected. So it's about an hour before sunrise, so I'm going to head down there now, get everything ready, and hopefully we can launch just on sunrise. So as you can see, we made it afloat. I'm out fishing just off Stampshore at the moment, in between Stampshore and Whale Island. It's a little bit of a channel before you go out to the main harbour, but there's a lot of white water out there. I'll never get out there in one of these, not on a day like this. And I forgot my sunglasses, so if you see me squinting, that's why. I really do struggle with the sun. But enough of the moaning. It's lovely to be out here. Got a pound of ragworm, wanted some peeler crabs, but I've kind of missed the end of the season for that. And this is probably the third spot I've fished. I fished a couple of other spots, but I think I must have been on the shallow mud. There was loads of blanket weed on the bottom. I found a spot now where it seems to be in the channel, deeper channel, definitely deeper water. Let me say deeper water. It's the difference between I was fishing 1.5 foot deep and now it's 3 foot deep. And in this channel there don't seem to be so much blanket weed on the bottom. But I think the biggest problem I've found so far with these flat bottom boats is that, I think I might have had a little bite then, maybe not. The boat, it swings around a lot in the wind, so you can't put rods over the back and watch the tips for bites. You've got to kind of hold the rod and keep in contact with the lead that way. But I did get one bite earlier, a definite bite. I'm expecting, if anything, small shoal bass. There seems to be loads of them around in the harbours at the moment. Had a little tick, 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 tick on the end of the rod. But I missed it. We've got another bite now. Oh, I think we might have a fish. Oh, have we got a fish? I think I've got an eel. Oh, I had an eel who was just grabbed hold of the end of the ragworm. He let go just as I went to swing him out of the water. That's a result. Don't really want to catch eels anyway. Ugh, eels, don't miss them. This green weed is horrible. Luckily I'm in a spot now where there's not too much of it. But, yeah, I seem to be in the channel. The channel's probably about 8 or 10 foot wide. I've seen it at low tide, but I just didn't get a mental visualisation of it so that I could remember where it was once I got out here. It's just a different perspective. You can see now the wind is picking up. It's getting a little bit rocky, but I'm not far from where I launched, to be honest. It's literally, I'm about 30 yards from the far bank here. As far as I know, I don't think you can actually fish from that far bank because that's MOD land over there. Otherwise I could probably chuck it about 20 yards from the bank and be fishing where I'm fishing now. So I've missed a bite and I've lost an eel. I think more than anything this trip was just to practice launching the boat, working the engine, making sure everything's got a place in the boat. I think everyone works out a little system where they're going to put stuff. Luckily it's a nice sunny day, apart from the fact I forgot my sunglasses. It is nice and sunny. Yesterday was rainy and overcast and not very nice. 40 mile an hour gusts last night. Today is kind of like a lull in between the weather front. So we've got 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, as you can see. Quite a bit of white water out there. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that lot. I'm just at the mouth of where I dare go no further, sort of thing. And tomorrow apparently it's going to be wet and horrible and rubbish again. So luckily for once, the one day I've chose to go fishing, and it's not too bad. Originally I did go round to where I wanted to launch before. I went round to Hillsey. That's the area I wanted to fish, and the old slipway seems to be all covered over with mud and weed and all sorts of stuff now. No way you're going to get down there, so that's quite sad. Oh yeah, I think we've got a fish. What we got? No, we definitely had a bite. But what we have got is a load of this horrible weed. We definitely had another bite then. Getting spoilt with all these bites. I think this is definitely going to be a learning curve for me. Straight away I need to get some shorter rods. These ones are definitely too long. I've seen a couple on eBay. You can get some NGT stalking rods, a couple of 8-footers, sort of, it's supposed to be sort of carp stalking rods, but I'm pretty sure they'll be absolutely fine for this sort of small fish, small boat harbour fishing. Some of this weed is really tricky to get off. It really clings to everything. Right, that's that cling. Put a fresh worm on. Let's see if we can get a fish in the boat. That's what we want. Right. Again, lessons learnt. Put a towel over your knee when you put a worm on, because all that juice comes out of them. All over your trousers, all in the bottom of your boat. And although I'm going to get everything out, give it a good rinse down when I get home, put the engine through some clean water for 5 minutes and all those sorts of things you're supposed to do, which I will do. I'm trying to eliminate as much as you can, and a tea towel over the knee is perfect. Well, I'm not going to fish that whole worm because I've got a feeling there's only small fish down there. That said, I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube recently, and I see some bass that sort of £4 get caught from not too far from here. Yeah. Right, let's have another go. Right, so there we go, I'm much happier now. I've just come up the channel a little bit, and it's really still now. Got a good bit of depth down there. Let's see if there's any fish. Again, that's really tiny bass. There we go. I don't know. That might actually be the biggest one of the day so far. There seems to be so many of these in the harbour now. It's lovely to see, but they need to be looked after because they take so long to grow. Yeah, that's the thing, after a couple of dozen of them you start to wonder if you're actually going to get through to anything any bigger. As I said before, today's not about the fishing, today's more about getting out of the boat, getting a feel for it, getting some experience under my belt. Hello, that's a point. And the boat's waiting. There we go. Yeah, we got one. Oh, that's a better one. I pulled back that time. It's not a better one. I'm just got to remember I'm fishing with light tackle, and these are going to pull back a bit. Ouch. There you go. Fishing, so I've tied off both ends now, and hopefully it will stop moving around. I do need a drink though. James lent me one of his water bottles for a drink. It's good of him. So I just had to switch cameras. Memory card went out on the GoPro, so just had to put that camera up. I've got the Sony up there now. Just had a bit of lunch. Didn't want to bore you with that. So now I'm going to... Do you know what? I think I'm going to move this box around so I'm actually facing the direction I'm fishing in. I think that would make perfect sense. There we go. Right. Oh, that's better. And there's some nice big clouds coming over now, so fingers crossed sunshine can do one. Nice ragworm over the side. Right. Now he's in business. A bit of weed on my lid. Get a bit of weed off my lid. The seaweed should be banned. There we go. Oh, that's better. That's better. Sunglasses. What would I give up for my sunglasses? I'd probably give up the rest of my sandwiches. I'd probably give up my engine actually and row back if I could have my sunglasses. Bait, I couldn't give up bait, I couldn't fish. Got no lures. I've got loads of lures though. I think next time I'll bring some lures out, some little spinners and jelly worms and things. Because I think with a really light LRF type rod, these little bass could be really good fun. On little jigs and lures and spinners. Yeah, another area I was thinking about going fishing was down off Eastney in the run. I mean, I'd never be able to get into the run with this and that small engine. But going off the back by, I think it's the Hailing Billy, you can launch sort of in the harbour a little bit and just head out towards the Mulberry, which is a big old concrete structure. And from what I can gather, you can get black bream and all sorts out there. So maybe next summer, in the spring perhaps, start venturing out a little bit further afield. Got a bit quiet now. Tide's come up quite a bit. I feel it's not far off high water, you know. And we've got another one. There's me worrying about the bass spiking me, and the ragworm bites me. Beautiful. Beautiful fish. Beautiful fish, but there's rather too many of them. A bit of variety would be nice. You could be careful what you wish for though. Could catch an eel. Imagine the mess one of them would make in the boat. Earlier on when I was coming out, there was a big swirl and I took it that it was a cormorant that had surfaced and then quickly dived again because it was quite a big boil on the surface. But I didn't see anything rise. I looked around to see it come back up again in another location, but it didn't. Kind of thinking that was a big bass on the surface, you know. They definitely get up these channels, maybe earlier in the tide. I don't know. I don't think they'll be around now. I think you'll get them on the flood. Sort of when I first got out, that would be the time to do it. With crabs or live baits, perhaps. Or lures. Yeah, thinking about it, I think I could launch from where I wanted to launch from this morning. I think because it wasn't a nice clean slip road going down into the sea and I hadn't launched before and had no experience under my belt, just wanted to steer clear of it and just not give myself any hassle. I wanted today's first launch to be plain sailing, excuse the pun, but I just wanted it to be easy with no dramas, you know. But in hindsight, I think because it was mud, I could have set the boat up, got everything in it, and then I think it would have slid across the mud and into the water quite easily. It wasn't deep mud either, it was like an inch deep, inch or two deep. Probably attempt it another day. Blimey. Oh, there we go. I wonder when we might see one of these today. A big old shore crab. Get off. So, plans for the rest of the year. I'm hoping that I can find some more spots to launch the boat. I'm going to do some research and find out where I can launch the boat and do a little bit of sea fishing from it. Sheltered little areas, maybe when it's a really nice day. I mean, on a really flat day, I could probably launch this off the seafront and go out by the blocks. As long as I didn't go out too far, didn't get in anyone's way, I think I'd be alright. Ouch! Do you know, I've always said it, but I think ragworm are the hardest things on the planet. You impale them on a massive piece of steel, cast them out into the sea for half an hour, and then when you wind them in, they still want to fight. Rock hard. Oh, hello. That's the biggest bend I've had in the rod today. There we go. Wow, look at that. That's a chunk. And there he is. No monster, but that's the biggest fish of the day. Gorgeous. Love that. Let's go. See you later, mate. I think we got all the crabs. Yeah, we've got all the crabs here. There's definitely two. There's definitely none now. Bye. I don't think I've touched upon end tackle either. The end tackle that I'm using is really simple. I've literally got a lead of 1.5 ounces slid onto the main line, then a small bead, and then that's tied onto a swivel, and then I've got a 4-foot piece of hook link line to a size 1 Aberdeen hook. Really simple run and ledger, couldn't be any more simple. Fish on, fish on. I've just had a brainwave. You've probably been thinking it all along, but it's just come to me. I'm fishing this way and the sun is really glaring in my eyes and I'm struggling, and I've just had a brainwave. Why not turn around and fish that way? Oh dear. Sometimes I amaze myself, I really do. Let's move that box over that side. Yeah, I think we're good. Right, let's see if I can get this. Right, let's have a go at that then, this side. Neville. Still suffer. I've got really sensitive eyes anyway. If I haven't got sunglasses on, even if I'm not looking in the direction of the sun, I still tend to squint. I I remember one year when I went to Austria on holiday. We got up in the mountains there, in Innsbruck I think it was, and everything was just white and the sun was shining, and I just had to walk around with my eyes closed. It's horrible. Oh yeah, that was a good lunge. That was a good lunge. Oh. Oh yeah, very good. In you come. There we go, look at that. I think that is the biggest fish of the day, that one. Definitely. Wow. Certainly attacked that worm. There he is, look at that. Beautiful. That's what it's all about. Happy days. There you go, sunshine. Yes, I'm going to try something a little bit different now. On the bottom I'm getting a lot of this blanket weed masking the hook bait. So what I've done here is I've just fished with just a paternoster. So the hook's just off the bottom. I'm going to give that a try. Right. It had gone quiet, but I've changed to these paternoster type rigs so that I can fish the baits just slightly off the bottom. That seems to have done the trick. So it's high tide now. It's actually just starting to go down. I think that's why I've had a little bit of an influx of bites. It went quiet for probably about an hour, and now I've got a couple of rods out because I'm fishing these paternosters now, and I'm not having any problems because the hook's up off the bottom. I'm not having any problem with the hook catching on the blanket weed. So I'm able to put 2 rods out. I think the movement of the boat is actually making the worms wiggle, so I think it's actually doing me a favour more than anything else. I'm getting plenty of bites, but I'm not hitting many of them. But I've had a load of fish today. I've had a load of small shoalies. It's been good fun. It's definitely been a learning curve. I've got a good bit of experience under my belt. A few boat hours. And I know that this area is good for shoal bass. But hopefully next time I can get out when it's a little bit calmer and I can get out where I want to get out. At the end of the day, I'm afloat. I'm out of my boat. It's warm. It's actually really warm today. Good thing about sitting in your own boat. Just don't get people coming up saying, have you caught anything, mister? So in about half an hour's time I'm going to head back to the slipway. When I came, there's a long slipway underneath the motorway, and this side of it there's a nice gravel bank which was handy for me to set the stuff up on, so I didn't have to put any bags or anything on the mud, and then launch the boat straight down off the shingle and into the channel. But the long slipway underneath the motorway fills up when the water's up, so I've got a feeling I can row all the way through underneath the motorway to the ramp where the car park is, and then I can just hoist her ashore, let her down, and away we go. Then it's a case of getting it all out at home, giving the engine a run in some fresh water, give the boat a good hose down, and then pack it away nicely for next time. I think last time when I used it in France just for baiting up and stuff, I just let the air out and then tried to roll it up. But I've worked out since that if you put the air hose on the other side of the pump, then it deflates, and then you should be able to get more air out, and then I'll be able to fold it up smaller. Oh, I had a bite then. But I missed it. Yeah, and then I should be able to get more air out of it, and then I can fold it up smaller, because when I got it, it had the floor and the boat all in the bag, but I wasn't able to get the floor in when I put it away from France. Still one or two fish knocking about down there. As I say, I probably could have caught half a dozen shoalies from the shore if I was fishing, but I just wanted to get the boat out. Hello, what we got here? We've got a crab. Yeah, we got a crab. Get off. Get off. Ow! Oh man. Hey Dan, I'll give you a pinch. There's only half of him left. He's impaled on a piece of steel and he's been shoved in the water for half an hour. And he still wants to have a fight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I tell you what, if these ragworms grew to 6 foot long, I think we'd be in trouble. You can forget your pythons and your cobras. It's all about the ragworms. Deadly. The boat actually came with some inflatable seats, 2 of them. And they were really low. It was almost like you were sitting on the floor. So I decided to invest in one of these old Shakespeare seat boxes. This one come with a side tray. Didn't put the side tray on actually, but fishing it this way on, I could put the side tray on and put my bait in it. That would be ideal actually. I might do that. But yeah, the seat box is so much better. So much better. Where's that side tray? Oh, I put a load of stuff in it, didn't I? Put a load of stuff in it. Oh, I won't do it today. But that's what I'll do next time. I'll use the side tray. And that'll be loads better. What's going on there? Yeah, that's a big old worm on there. Come on, fish. That's really slack. Let's have a look what's going on here. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. So the tide's gone down about a foot now, and I don't want it to go down much more because I won't be able to get through that little channel back to the car park. So I think I'm gonna wind in now, pack the rods away and head back. But yeah, brilliant to get out for the first time. Successful trip, caught some fish. You can only catch what's in front of you. I think there's loads of shoal bass in the little harbours at the moment, and if that's all you got in front of you, that's all you can catch. But we've had some fish, we've had some experience, that's the main thing, and I can't wait for next time.